Welcome to Through Kaleidoscope Eyes, a weekly show where we tell stories of unsung heroes one at a time within the LGBTQIA plus community and allies. We will also be discussing various topics with each special guest. I'm your host, Lacrosse Ortiz. Hey everybody, and welcome to Through Kaleidoscope Eyes. I'm Lacrosse Ortiz, I'm your host, and today's guest is a friend of mine I've met a few years ago, about 5 years ago, maybe 6, 5, 6, not quite sure, but five years ago. They're back there like, so, you know what, let's just bring them on. This is Raven. Hi.
Hello, everyone.
Hey. Before we start, I did want to do something. It's kind of something new that I want to do. So bear with me. It's called Know Your History. All right. I'm doing a timeline of the LGBT history. So we're going to go way, way back. 9,660 to 5,000 BCE. The first acknowledgement of something gay. A Mesolithic rock art in Sicily depicts phallic male figures in pairs that have been interpreted variously, including as hunters, acrobats, religious initiates, and depicts male homosexual intercourse. That was like 12,000 years ago. Been around that long, isn't it? I know, it was like I thought I want to start, man, you know, like this LGBTQIA plus history and literally work through, and every show just throw something. So for all of you, the first depiction of art was in Sicily 12,000 years ago. Now we can move on to our show. Hi. How are you?
I'm good. I'm thankfully I'm having a decent health day. So
good. That's always a plus.
Yeah,
Me, I've been
with the rain, so
yeah, the rain's no good.
Ugh.
I actually my wife has me on a cleanse.
No.
I'm driving, and I'm, you know, because I Uber, and so I'm driving. I'm like 45 minutes away, and the evil cleanse decides to kick in. I don't need to tell you what the cleanse does, because it literally feels like, I don't know if you ever saw Doctor Strange, that they hit you. You know, she hits him and his soul leaves his body. It's that type of shit, literally. All right. So I was like, what now? What kind of cleanse? And I'm an idiot. I don't learn. She's like, oh, you want to do a cleanse? I'm like, okay, whatever you say. And next thing you know, I'm shitting my brains out for like a week. So, oh, wait a minute here. Before we get going, I have to do this. 1 second.
Warning, the following video contains strong language which may be offensive to some viewers and or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Just in case the F-bomb comes, so I have to put that out there.
Well, I mean, I don't need an excuse to drop that F-bomb, so.
Yep. So, anyway, so let's begin. Tell me about yourself.
What do you
me
know?
And everybody else. Well, we can start at the beginning, work our way through.
Sure. So hi guys, I'm Raven. It is my preferred name. My actual name is Tamara. I come from New Hampshire and Maine, so I'm a New England person. I was born in Dover, New Hampshire, and I was raised in Maine, in a very tiny little town. At the time, I'll put it to you this way, the current population is less than 4,500.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Small town. But you know, we had a lot of fun out there. So I graduated at 19. I also got sick at 19, which I'll explain a little bit more about that in just a sec. I am a mom of 2 little girls, and I've got an awesome stepson
that's cool.
as well. My boyfriend's son calls me mom, and I take that very happily.
Yeah.
So 3 awesome kids, an awesome boyfriend who we've been together now for 2.5 years. And he's tolerated everything. I don't know how, but you know, he's a saint. So
That's what I say about Kat. She's a saint.
Yeah. He has definitely helped me on so many levels that it's crazy. I identify as a non-binary and gender fluid person. So my pronouns typically are they, them, in and out of drag. I am a drag performer. That's how I met Lee.
Yeah.
5 years ago, actually. And it's funny because he was one of my mentors, and like I always went to him for advice for looks, and then all of a sudden he started coming to me about certain looks, and I'm like, wait, am I seeing things correctly?
Well, you know what? I always say you arrive when you die. Always, you know, when you're entertainer, you should always be willing to learn, always be willing to take from other people, because like you may, like in my case, like my thing was cosplay and characters, but
Absolutely.
I'm not the end all. Like now I see this flourishing of kings that I'm like, oh shit, I gotta go and ask them something. Like, what is this? This is amazing. You know, yeah. So yeah, you got to be open.
Oh, I actually just found out this year that friends of mine from when my first daughter was born, so my first marriage, I just found out that a set of sisters are kings.
Wow.
And they're amazing, individual and together.
Yes.
Ugh. I will definitely show you some of the looks when we're done tonight.
Yeah, I get that family thing because I get it from my my daughter is my drag son.
I know.
Yeah, Solar Cross. So it's which she's away in South Carolina, but she's like, I can't wait to come home. I need to come home. I need to do drag. I'm fiending. And I'm like, well, I just retired and you have over 70 costumes to pick from. So
right. But
let's get a quick hello here.
Oh.
Jojo says hello.
Hi, Joe.
Timothy says hello.
Speaking
Hi,
of
Tracy.
children.
Yeah. Camden, hey, what's up, bro?
Camden, I hope, folks, just a real quick thing. Speaking of Camden is a very dear friend of both Lacrosse and mine. Yes. Unfortunately, he just lost his apartment to a fire last night. He and his animals, thankfully, were safe.
Yes.
But he did lose everything. There is a GoFundMe. Yes. I did share that on my page. Lee, I believe you have it on your page as well.
I think. I was out today, so I didn't get a chance.
Okay.
But definitely. Oh God, I wish I had the link right now. Then I could run it through.
If I had it right off the top of my head, then
we'll keep going through the highs. Definitely. Aunt Deb, hi Aunt Deb. I love and miss you so much. And here, oh, so faithful Sandy. Hello, hello, hello. And we love you. We love you, Camden.
Love you too, babe.
If you know what, put the link up in here, Camden, if you can, and that way people could, you know, if any look. $1, $5, anything can help. Anything
even
you
just
can do
to
to
share.
Help. Exactly. Or share. Exactly. Anything you can do to, you know, help him get back on his feet. That's the most important. So with that being said, we shall continue.
Yeah. But yeah, so non-binary, gender fluid. If you're not quite sure what those are, maybe I can help explain.
Yes.
Because I know a lot of people are like, wait a second, you look like a girl.
Right.
What do you mean you're non-binary or gender fluid? Well, for those of you who don't really know how this whole thing works when it comes to gender, first off, there's more than 2 genders. Yep. Technically, yes, you have the 2 genders that were assigned to you at birth, which is female and male. However, You also have a nice little group called binary, which is straight up what we call cisgendered, meaning what you were assigned with or born with. So you guys are under the binary umbrella.
Right.
Now, Lee and I, we're under a little bit of a different umbrella. We're both technically under the transgender umbrella, which is a non-binary.
Right.
Now, granted, you have transgender, so you have female to male, male to female, typically what would be considered as just the transgender. However, that's not the case at all either, because there's more than one way to be transgender. You also have the non-conforming, like myself, a non-binary, which means I'm male, I'm female, I'm both, and I'm neither. Kind of the same thing with gender fluidity. I'm either female, male, both, or neither. Also, funny little fact, my brain is literally split between the two genders. The scientific and logical part of my brain is actually male. The creative and more emotional is actually female. That's where we get our sensitivity from. That's why they say it's a more feminine trait. Well, there you go.
Right.
But also underneath those other different parts, it's not like you have gender queer, you have the agenders, you have I could go on and on and on. The point is that those umbrellas, they open up a little bit wider than normal.
Right.
And that's what a lot of people have a tendency to have a problem with, because it's like, well, you're either this or you're this. It's like, no, there's a lot of gray area in between that. Kind of the same thing with orientation as well. For me, I am a demi-pansexual. So let me break it down, because I've had so many people be like, well, what the hell is that?
Right. Because I mean, I identify as pansexual, just pansexual. I don't care what your gender is. I don't care what you have down there. I just care that you're an amazing human being. You love with this. I see hearts, not parts. And at the end of the day, you can work with whatever's down there. So.
Exactly. Now, and thank you for explaining that. Now, for any of you who watch Schitt's Creek, there's another explanation that kind of makes it a little bit simpler for everybody else to understand. There's a particular scene that David Rose, played by Dan Levy, and Stevie Budd, who is Emily Hampshire. Now, mind you, here's the funny part. Dan Levy is a gay man playing a pansexual man.
Oh, okay.
Stevie, the character.
Sorry.
You're fine. The character, I believe, is straight. However, Emily Hampshire is a lesbian or somewhere in that community.
Right.
So keep that in mind. But in the scene, they're in a wine shop, and she's trying to figure out, this is after their one night stand, she's trying to figure out what he's into, because she really likes him and is kind of smitten. Right. So she asked him, do you like red wine or white wine? And he starts to catch on, and he says, I like red wine, but sometimes I also like white wine.
Right.
And sometimes I enjoy a casual rosé. I have had a Chardonnay that turned into a Merlot.
Right.
Basically, and I wore this just for this show, I like the wine, not the label.
Right.
It is the greatest way. And I'm sorry for any of you out there who are watching this today. If you haven't seen Schitt's Creek and you're not sure, like if your child just came out to you,
right,
or you have a lot of friends and you're not quite understanding it, but you want to understand, watch this show.
Oh, yeah. I started it. I didn't get a chance to actually keep going, but everybody keeps getting, like, even my kid gets on my ass. They're like, you need to watch this. You need to watch this. Oh my God, this is too
100%.
cute. I need a diagram. Feel so lost with all the genderness. Yeah. It can get complicated. It can really get complicated, you know.
It can. I agree. And I think that's part of the problem, is that it seems like every day they're adding something new. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, we have enough. Like,
Right. You would think.
like with a demi-pansexual, as an example, you've heard the section about the pansexual. It's the demisexual that confuses people. They're like, well, what the hell is that? Basically, as a pansexual, you could look great. You could be a great person. But if I don't have a connection with you,
Right.
like if we don't talk for more than, I don't know, 10 seconds, I'm sorry, but you're not my type.
Right.
Move it along.
Right.
I have to have a connection to be able to have an attraction to someone. And people are like, well, isn't that what every human being is like? I said, no.
Right.
And here's the thing too, is like, demisexual people, you have to have a real connection, like best friends, or even just regular friends.
Right.
Or you've been dating somebody for a little while. Test out the waters.
Right.
If you do not have some sort of connection with them, some sort of common interest, or whatever the case may be, you're not attracted to that person.
Right.
A normal, and I say this with quotes because there's no such thing as normal. I hate to break it to you, any of you, but so normal people are like, oh, well, I have to have a connection. I see it. I like it. There's a connection. Not how this works. Not how that works at all.
To me, that seems a little like you could have a connection with a freaking, Twinkie. I don't know. It's like,
right?
You can't just sit there. Like, I think that at that point, like what you're saying is like having this deeper connection, this like almost like I don't believe in falling in love like you love at first sight. Let me put that.
Right.
I don't believe in that, but I do believe that you meet a person and you're like, oh shit, I'm on this person's level. Like we're bonding, or there's like a bond of some sort.
Exactly. That's
right.
Exactly it. Right on the head. And that's exactly the thing about it too, is that they like without honestly, great way to explain it. When I first met my significant other, it was at lunchtime. Everybody else was full. My table was open. He just asked me to sit down. And the funniest part is we bonded over my homemade hot sauce. That's where the connection went. And we've been together for 2.5 years now.
Wow.
Yeah. All because of hot sauce. And my table was open.
Well, there you go. What are you doing? What kind of hot sauce were you putting there?
I actually make my own hot sauce.
Oh, okay.
I can't eat it because I have 4 healed ulcers in my stomach, but I can't. I used to grow super chili hybrid peppers when I was in high school, and I actually ate them by the handful.
Right.
In contests against the boys in my class because they didn't think that the girls could do it. Mind you, this was before I had found my true identity and my own comfortability. Right. But me and both the other girls, one girl was Puerto Rican, so she was from Puerto Rico and she was used to those hot flavors. And the other one was just as white as I was. You just take it. And I'm like, all right, let's do this. So we just start shoveling, and the boys are pussing out at like 2.
You know, it's funny because Caribbean hot sauce is very different from like Mexican hot sauce and things like
Oh,
that.
absolutely.
I want to make clear to people, I knew somebody who would make a hot sauce with pineapple rinds.
I've heard of
And
that.
then put all that crazy stuff that was in it. Here real quick. I'm so thankful for both of you.
Aw.
Emotional over physical connection. Absolutely.
Yes. That is absolutely correct.
Genevieve, thank you for stopping in. Hello. And he misses his drag wifey.
Yeah, Camden
Well,
became my drag husband pretty much second time after I saved his butt.
Oh, I know. Like, well, I wasn't being rude, but I was trying to create a banner for.
Yeah.
Oh, damn it! I did it wrong. All right, go ahead, continue because I gotta fix this. Nobody noticed. Shh. You didn't see it. You didn't see anything. Okay, I corrected it. We're good.
So my hot sauce, I actually I haven't made it in a long time, thankfully, but because I have asthma and I have to wear a respirator whenever I make it.
Oh, I can't even.
I'm
not gonna lie. I'm a chicken shit with hot sauce. Like I went to when we went to New Orleans, and they're like, at New Orleans, it's about hot sauce. It's all about hot sauce. Okay, that
spices,
and blues and jazz. I'll do the blues and jazz. I won't do the hot sauce. It's like a little bit, and I'm like, oh Lord, I'm
I
sweating.
know.
Oh my
it's
God.
so bad.
It's terrible, terrible.
But for those of you who have not gotten the chance to go to New Orleans, oh my God, go.
Yes, 100%.
You will get addicted on day 1.
What should do like a walkthrough on New Orleans? You
Oh
know
my
what I'm
God.
saying? Like
Yes.
just do a walkthrough and just do a show and say, this is where you want to go.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So, oh, Jesus. I'm sorry. I don't have air conditioning, so it's a little difficult
Yeah.
for me because in my house, I don't have, well, in my bedroom, I do, but I'm in my second room, which has no air conditioning. So bear with me because I'm over here like, it's not the hot sauce because I didn't have any today. It's just hot. Hot and humid. Ooh, Genevieve says, yes, New Orleans, my favorite. The Ghosts. The Ghosts. I went on every tour possible that I could think of. So, and you know what?
Too.
Oh, it was just so good. It was so good. But it's not about my trip. It's about you. Because I know me. I'll start with, ooh, and we did this. And ooh, we did that. I'll start losing my shit, you know?
Oh my God, I'm the same way. But
yeah.
And when you and Kat were going, Chris and I were constantly hitting you up like, you got to go here, you got to go here, you got to go here. Like I
had an itinerary when I got there. You guys already made an itinerary for me. It was
pretty
great.
much, yeah. But it got you where you needed to go.
Yeah.
So
we got through pansexual, demi-pansexual.
We did.
Bear with me. Got through hot sauce.
We got through hot sauce, and now you're having hot flashes.
Oh my goodness. Well, you know, that passed. That's why I had my surgery. I don't have to deal with that anymore.
Oh.
But going back to the pansexual, I think it's an interesting concept because like a lot of people confuse pansexual with bisexual, and that's not the same. It's not the same. I got to get my daughter on here because she gave the most amazing explanation, even though she has a podcast. Like I did a podcast with her and I have to upload it eventually. Mm-hmm. But she did an amazing analogy. It's like no different than the LGBTQIA rainbow, no different than the trans rainbow. Bisexuality is a rainbow, and you start in the middle and then both. And then she's like, but there are degrees on which you prefer more. Like she's bisexual. She identifies as bisexual, but she's with a man. She's married to her man. They've been together 10 years, but she's still attracted to women.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, but and then not realizing that pansexual is not the same. Pansexual, there is no rainbow of preference. It's more of rainbow of personality, should we say. You know what I'm saying? Because I could see a person and they could look hot, but if they're like the vibe doesn't go, or I don't care, I don't like you, it is what it is, you know.
Right.
But at the same token, and it doesn't matter, I could see, like in my case, I am attracted to femininity. Big difference. I'm not attracted to masculinity. I'm attracted. So they're like, oh, so you would date a trans woman? Well, absolutely. Oh, you would date an effeminate man? Absolutely. Because I don't care.
Right.
I'm not worried about what's down there. I'm worried about what's here. And my preference is femininity.
Right.
So, I mean, well, maybe we do have a rainbow. Maybe we do.
We do. Like, for me, I actually started off as a bisexual before I found out anything about myself.
Right.
I identified as bisexual. I was originally polyamorous.
Right.
So I was married and I had a girlfriend, exploring both sides of that half. And I figured out that it took me a little while to realize that wasn't quite where I was.
Right.
Like, because then I started seeing, I had issues with, both parts of the relationship.
Right. Well, polyamory is not easy.
No, it's
That's
not. Actually,
very difficult. For those who don't know what polyamory, here is an education right here. We are not swingers, or not.
No.
And it is a choice. You're not born polyamorous, at least not to me. Polyamory is a choice. Polyamory is being able to have multiple partners in relationships. This doesn't mean you're a swinger and you just run around and sleep with anybody, because a lot of people think that polyamorous is the same as swinging. It's not. It's actually establishing relationships with multiple people. Doesn't always go well.
No.
So, but with that being said, it doesn't mean it can't. But I just know in my experience, it didn't go well.
I've had two experiences, actually. The first one, not so much. Though one partner out of that relationship, one partner ended up saving my life from the other. Right. So, and then I got into a relationship with another person, and when I met my current partner, he was the secondary.
Oh, okay.
The primary ended up breaking off the relationship, and just, it was a mess. And when
maybe we should explain primary and secondary, because we explained. Yeah,
of course. So first off, before I even start on that, let me also explain and add to what Lacrosse was saying. Polyamory is not polygamy.
Right.
Which is another thing that people have a tendency to confuse. First off, polyamory, like he said, is multiple relationships.
Right.
And is legal.
Yes.
Polygamy is a religious-based multiple marriages, and is it's illegal in most states.
Right.
And is the most complicated. But when it comes to a polyamorous relationship, you have your primary, who is the main relationship, I guess you could put it. The person that you started with,
right,
in the very beginning. They're the one that you, like, for an example, say you're engaged to your primary, or you're married to your primary. That relationship is the one where you make the rules together.
Right.
What is okay, what is not okay. If sexual things were to happen, like what is your main partner okay with your other partners, or what are they not okay with?
Right.
Rules and consent are important in anything. And when it comes down to polyamorous relationships, you have to have that what's the word I'm thinking of? Sorry, I'll explain this whole part of it in just a couple of minutes. Because I do this a lot, unfortunately.
That's okay.
But that, like, established relationship, you have to have those rules and whatnot. Now, with a secondary, or, if you have just one other partner, it's your secondary. If you have multiple, that's on you on how to sort that out.
Right. And the thing is that the secondary is coming into this relationship, understanding the boundaries. I think that's important that people understand that. The secondary is coming in, understanding this is the primary, this is the secondary. These are the boundaries. You can go for it, you cannot, and it's totally okay no matter which direction you go with. And a lot of people don't understand that, because then they look at the secondary and they feel sorry for them. And I'm like, no, they walked into this, they understood the boundaries, and they were okay with it, because at the end of the day, with a polyamorous relationship, consent.
Exactly.
That's what it's all about. Everybody is consensual. Everybody understands what's going on, and it's communication and consent.
Yep.
So I don't know where we were going with this, but continue.
Oh, no.
It don't take much for me. I'm old.
Yeah. It's just explaining about the primary and secondary partners, and what the difference is, like what their roles are. So if you want to go at it by roles, you would have, just as a weird ass example, but you'd have dad, mom, dad number 2.
Right.
Or mom number 2.
Right.
Or, whatever that case may be, whatever that scenario is. In that relationship, as long as everybody is talking, communicating, and whatnot, and rules are set, they meet each other, because trust me when I say, if you have multiple partners and they do not meet, or they don't get along, or they don't know about it, it could be a big problem.
Shit show. It's a shit show. So
yeah.
Yep.
But
we got to continue this, because I'm at half mark, so we got to do some commercials. This is getting good. It's like, I'm like, okay, we're talking some shit here. Okay, this is good. So we will be right back. Tune in to Kaleidoscope Eyes with your host, Transman Lacrosse Ortiz. Every week, we will be touching topics within the LGBTQIA plus community. We will also be having interviews with individuals within the community and allies. Journey with us as we share in their struggles and triumphs every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern.
WLFE Digital Broadcast Network is on TV. You can watch all of our shows on WLFE-DB.com. Check out our channels: Paranormal View for all of your paranormal type shows, LGBTQ Friends for all of our LGBTQ shows, Variety Unlimited for all other shows. It runs 24/7 right on WLFE-DB.com. You'll even catch the lives, all in one place. Never miss an episode, past or future. WLFE-DB.com, where our shows are your shows. Search for your favorite shows like Where's My Sage, Inside the Drag Closet, Across the Pond, Everything Yet Nothing, Paratalk Radio, Step into the Paranormal, The Creepy Parlor, Just Cindy, and more. Now you won't miss an episode. Remember, follow Facebook Live and YouTube Live. Make sure you subscribe and follow your favorite WLFE-DB radio shows. You can find our shows where you listen to your favorite podcasts, like Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and more. WLFE-DB Radio is looking for podcasts to join our family. You don't have to fit any strict genre. We're a plethora of shows. If you're looking to jump on a growing network, then contact us at WLFEDBradio@gmail.com.
Wow, Amazon Music just got a whole lot better. Your favorite shows from WLFE-DB Radio can now be found there. Yes, we are on Amazon Music, found under podcasts. Download the app, find podcasts, and search all of your favorite shows. Shows like Where's My Sage, Across the Pond, Everything Yet Nothing, Skeptical Help Bar, The Creepy Parlor, Just Cindy, and much more. Now you don't have to miss an episode ever. Amazon Music is WLFE-DB Radiofied.
Thank you for watching Rainbow Soul, part of the WLFE-DB network. A queer perspective on spirituality beyond religion. We appreciate you sharing the show on your timeline, follow us on social media of your choice, and join our Facebook group, Rainbow Soul. We want to hear from you. Share your topic ideas for Hollis and Lacrosse. Explore upcoming shows and interesting guests. The Rainbow Soul Facebook group, where we build community of questioning seekers. Rainbow Soul, where spirituality is our medicine.
You're listening to WLFE-DB Radio. Now, back to our program.
Okay, we are back.
We are.
Okay, let me look at some of these. Bridget, hello. Shoot, you're just a youngin', Elona. Well, who's the youngin'?
Probably me.
Probably you, because it ain't me.
The funny part is that that's actually one thing that people talk about me the most, is that I don't look my age.
Right. Same. Nobody guesses 52 at all.
Honestly, I've gotten as far down in age as 19.
I believe it.
And I've gotten as old as, and this is out of drag, mind you.
Oh, right.
But I've, without makeup on or anything like that, I've actually gotten like 42, 52.
Yeah, no, nobody guesses that I'm 52. I get carded. Like, I keep telling my wife, I'm so excited for like community aid because I live at the thrift store, and their 55 is their senior age. I said, girl, when I'm gonna be up there and they're gonna card me, I don't care. 55. I'm 55. Here it is.
Yeah, like
she said Lacrosse is who I'm talking about. Oh, I'm sorry, Sandy. Yes, I am. I'll be 53 this year. I'm an old goat. Getting there.
I'm actually
Anyway.
23.
Yeah. So, you know what's so funny? I have this paper that I wrote up when we were talking, and Cajun Gator. Like, I don't know why this Cajun Gator is on my thing, but we're supposed to go into health now. So you have suffered since you were 19 with Lyme disease. So
I have.
let's educate people, because I don't know a lot about it. So
Okay.
let me know.
All right. Well, yes. So I am currently 33. I have been sick since I was 19. I got diagnosed with my first diagnosis of Lyme disease on May 24th, 2017. It was a week after my 19th birthday and the week before my high school graduation. I went through multiple rounds of antibiotics, through oral antibiotics, so by pill. I've done IV form. I've done, oh my gosh, I can't even remember all of the different medicines and testing, and it's been a nightmare. My second diagnosis. So here's something really fun. You can get Lyme disease more than once if you're bitten more than once. I've been bitten twice. Almost got it a third time, actually. But I was diagnosed about a year and a half later, just before my 21st birthday. When I went to the doctor, I was actually seeing a blood specialist, which, for those of you who don't know what a blood specialist is, it's an oncologist, aka a cancer doctor.
Right.
For those who don't know. And when, it was the day of my 21st birthday, and I'm like, what the hell is going on with me? Why am I not getting any better? They said, I'm sorry, Miss Walker, but you're not going to see your 30th.
Oh.
Come again?
Yeah, that's.
I thought I misheard you. No, you're not going to see your 30th. As aggressive as this is, and the progression rate that it's going so fast that it will kill you.
Right.
Yes. Sandy, Rocky Mountain spotted fever and Lyme disease have actually a lot of the same symptoms.
Yeah.
The thing is, and what people don't realize, is that Lyme disease is called the great imitator for a reason. And the reason for that is because it mimics different diseases like MS, cancer, Parkinson's, ALS, Rocky Mountain spotted fever, ironically, amongst many, many others. And what it also does to a person's body is ridiculous. Now, here's something that I do want to educate people about, is that just because you get Lyme disease and you get antibiotics, and the antibiotics work against the bacteria that your body's carrying, here's a hint: you're not free of it. There is no cure for Lyme disease.
Right.
It stays within your body for the rest of your life until it decides to kill them. Until it kills you. I am 33 years old. I have been dealing with this since I was 19. So that makes it 14 years now that I've been dealing with it. I've been put into a wheelchair twice. I actually have early onset dementia.
Oh, no.
At 33. My brain will literally stop. And because I have PTSD on top of all of it, I also have seizures. Now, granted, Lyme disease can also lead in and cause some of the diseases that it imitates.
Right.
And Lyme disease reacts like cancer does. You have your remission and your relapse. I have relapsed 6 times now.
Wow.
In 14 years. I was in the military when I got found out the second time. I was a Marine. I wasn't in very long, so please don't thank me for my service. No, I'm serious.
No, I hear you, because my daughter went through the same thing. She was in the Army and she blew out her knees and she didn't make it.
Yeah.
It was hard.
I got out not because of Lyme disease. I got out because of don't ask, don't tell.
Mm.
I got found out and I went through 4 programs.
Oh, that's rough. Thank God we're not there anymore.
It still exists. Don't ask, don't tell. No, but the code rates they were trying to get rid of for a while. For any of you who are watching who don't know what a code red is, if you've ever seen the movie A Few Good Men with Tom Cruise and Jack Nicholson, it's about a young soldier who gets taken out by other soldiers at the executive order of their highest ranking officer, which in this case, in this example, was Jack Nicholson.
Right.
Because he didn't like the way that he looked, or because he didn't like the fact that he was Latino, or whatever the case was. I don't quite remember, but that's basically what it's for. And because I was part of the LGBT, I was bisexual at the time, I got found out, and I had to deal with that. And they still couldn't kill my ass.
No, I hear you.
And it's
Definitely hear you. I try to want to believe that it's better now, because it's like the don't ask, don't tell, it didn't work. So, now that everything is, I guess, much more progressive.
Yeah.
Hopefully people are not going through that in the military. It would suck if it did, but hopefully they're not.
I know that it got repealed back in 2011.
Right.
So 2 years before or after I had to go through what I did.
Right.
But I will say this much, that at least, thankfully things are getting better. I know that I'll be praying for him, Bridget.
Oh.
It's a tough situation.
Yeah, I get it. Bridget, God, I hope it's better. AJ is in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's hope.
Thankfully, since it's
but AJ's a tough cookie. He's a tough cookie.
Yeah.
So next we're going to talk about the Shade Shack. What is that?
Oh my goodness. So for any of you who have not met me up until this point, hi.
Right.
I am from the drag world. I used to be known as Desmond Starr Devon, Desmond Starr Couture, Desmond Silverbane, and Dixie Normus. The Silverbane twins ended up getting killed off for various reasons.
Right.
And I ended up creating a whole new character called Mayhem and Roses, which is literally, instead of me doing what I used to do, which is change from male to female like that.
Right.
And some of my other performers who might be watching have seen this happen, and they don't like it too often. They're like, "Why? I hate you right now." No, you don't. You're just jealous.
It's a lot of work.
It is. Oh my God. Trying to change in about 20 minutes flat when you're in between numbers is a pain in the ass.
Dude, you sing into the choir.
Right. Well, and I've watched some of your transformations. It's crazy.
It's literally calculated.
Oh my God. But instead I cut out the middle part, and I said, you know what? I'm just going to make this as one character. It's 2 characters in one person, one body, I guess. So Max Mayhem and Phantom Rose, aka Mayhem and Roses. We co-host a show online. We started it last year during the pandemic when we were just bored as shit.
Right.
Because we didn't have anything else to do. We were bored. We didn't have, we were jonesing to friggin' perform.
Mm-hmm.
And as every person was, that's a performer by this point. We started in like April. And the first season, there was the first season was kind of chaotic,
Right.
to say the least. And if any of you have watched the show of the Shade Shack, you know what it is and what happened and why, and I ain't going into it.
Honey, that was going on one time, and I'm like, I heard my name, and I'm like, what? And I ended up on the show. I'm like, what?
Yeah, that's happened a lot.
Yeah, and then he was like, explain this picture. Look, I'm from South Jersey. It was like a redneck moment, all right? Don't judge me, all right?
Speaking of photos, there was a photo that came up in my memories yesterday.
Yeah?
Of us.
Uh-oh.
Of the two lacrosses.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So for those
that's
of
the
you
redneck photo. That's the smart-ass photo. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was great.
So for anybody who doesn't know what photo we're talking about,
Right.
on May 12th, 2017, we did a show together called, I think it was like a kingdom or
it was
something like that. It was a king show.
It was the kingdom.
Yeah. And lacrosse was actually going to Master Male Illusionist.
Yep.
So I'm like, you know what? I want to show just how much he means to me as a mentor, as a brother, as a friend. So I decided to be a smart ass, and I picked I've Got a Girlfriend Everywhere from Lou Bega.
Well, I was a dog then. I'm not going to lie. A little
bit. To be fair, this was before he met Kat, his beautiful, wonderful wife.
Yes.
And if you don't know lacrosse doesn't have drag children.
No.
He accumulated multiple drag wives.
Yes, I did.
So the song was very, very fitting, and I thought it would be funny. So I got dressed in one of my button downs behind the blanket, but hung up. And like I put on a tie. I got done up, and a friend of ours who is actually in New Orleans now, while he was getting ready for his number, our friend Derek, who is known by Renee Gamore, and Paige, who also just happens to be a former Mr. and Miss Lebanon Grand Diva and Devo.
Yeah, he won both.
First person
to win both. Yep.
By the way, that's how you do drag.
But it was great because it's like you didn't do lacrosse the entertainer, you did lacrosse the person.
Yep.
Which was so cool because most people, like, if you were going to do the entertainer, you came out as a Joker, the Riddler, Edward Scissorhands or whatever, but you did me as me. Yep. Like it's weird, but
like I actually Derek was drawing the neck tattoo that's right underneath. If you look very closely at his neck, it only came to about there because my collar was not allowing anything else. I actually put black wax between my teeth with the gap.
I remember that.
Lee actually let me borrow his other set of glasses, probably the ones he's wearing now.
No, the one I'm wearing now, because I had the blue ones. I can't find them. I lost them. Anyway.
You had two pairs of yellow. You didn't have the blue pair at that time.
Oh, yes.
Which was before, when you had both pairs of yellow. Which, surprisingly, I could see from. And he even taught me his little skip.
Yeah, my skip. Whitley hated my skip.
Whitley did it just to annoy me. Because I did it every chance I had. And there's video.
You could see her. She's like, I hate that skip.
Every chance that we had on the video, you just see or hear Lee laughing his ass off. And I
Oh
thought
my God, I was
he left the
dying.
bear store.
I was dying.
It was funny.
And I'm
it
like,
was
am
funny.
I that much of a dog? Yes, I am. I don't know.
It was great. It was so
It was hilarious.
great. I wish I had chosen that as like my talent number for any pageant that you judged.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you something.
Because I would have been like, really? Really?
Right.
She done. Yep. Okay, it's true.
If you've ever competed in a pageant where Lee is your judge and you know his like standards when it comes to his performances and shit, it's like completely stressful. Like for the record,
I think that is self-inflicted because I think I'm a very nice judge.
You are.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's most of that happened when people would compete, they would get so intimidated. I'm like, why? I'm a nice guy. I'm not like
just for me.
And you've even done it. You've even done it. You and I'm like, no, just do you. Have fun. But
I did.
Yeah. That's how you won your title.
That's true. Well,
so
I mean, technically that's how I should have won my title, but
yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. But the one title that I still have people getting a hold of me for it is when I did Les Mis for Miss, going up against Amishka and Sapphire Di Dior.
Yeah, there are some hard queens.
They were tough.
Yeah.
But they so many people kept asking me, they're like, did you really cry or was that just all like the show? I'm like, no, that actually, there was in fact real tears, and Lee can attest to this because he was right in front of me watching this happen.
Right.
I was beyond emotional. It was just insane. I think it was probably one of my most emotional and raw performances as a performer that I've ever done.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, we are at the end of the show. We have reached 50. Oh, I'm like, wow, that was fast.
I told you.
And we didn't even hit everything. I got Pumpkin here.
He's mad at me. I gave him a bath before the show.
Pumpkin isn't coming out.
Real quick, Pumpkin is my orange tabby. He is an ESA, which everybody knows that cats can be emotional support animals. What most people don't know and everybody questions me about is Pumpkin is actually in training to be my service cat for my seizures. He smells the pheromones from my hands, which identifies whether I'm okay or if I'm going to have a seizure. And if I'm going to have a seizure, he'll do a bunch of different movements. Like he'll knock himself hard against my chest using that body weight. And then he'll nudge me, and it's insane. Like he's really good. And he does it all on his own. I didn't train him for that.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, I'm so bummed they didn't get to see him. I was bummed. I got to see him. Sorry, guys. You didn't get to see him. I got to see him.
If you're on my Facebook, there's plenty of pictures of him.
Oh, there you go.
I made a few.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on and giving your story. Even though, oh my God, we were all over the place. This was this is so ADHD on both parts. We were like, oh, let's talk poly. Ooh, let's talk drag. Ooh, let's talk this. But it was great. Well, you know what? No, before we go, I want to sit here. You gave me some pictures.
That is me and my partner, Chris. We've been together for about 2.5 years now. That was at a wedding that he and I helped out at a friend.
Oh.
So it's one of our favorite photos.
There's that.
Yeah. I took that up in New Hampshire at my grandparents' place, actually. That house is 100 years old.
Oh, my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
And last?
My daughters.
Your babies.
Yeah. The one in the purple is 10, and she comes up to here on me.
Right.
And my little one in the pink, she comes out to right about here.
Yeah.
She's almost as tall as her sister, and they're in the same size. But it's ridiculous, like absolutely ridiculous.
Well,
They're growing way too fast.
I didn't want to end the show and not show the pictures. The pictures are important. Alrighty, well, thank you again. It was so nice having you on. It was so great reminiscing. That was too funny.
Yeah.
Touching subject, like honestly, like I said, we just wing it because you never know what direction it's going to go. But you know what? Thank you for coming.
Yeah,
and thank you for being a part. All right, then let's say goodbye.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Oh, yeah. Life just got sweeter now that WLFE DB has merchandise. Show your support by purchasing your t-shirts for WLFE, Paratalk Radio, Inside the Drag Closet, and more. But it doesn't stop there. T-shirts, coffee mugs, tanks, buttons, cloth bags, and more. Go to WLFE-DB.com. On the top bar, click on the merchandise tab and bam, there you go. You got merch. Support the shows. WLFE-DB.com.
Thanks so much for tuning into this week's episode on Through Kaleidoscope Eyes. I sure do hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. If you haven't done so, make sure to subscribe to the show. See you next week.